Did you know that I don't see Donald Trump as my president? That's a true statement. As a matter of fact, I never saw Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Clinton, or any other previous president as my president. And I tell you why. When men follow God as opposed to themselves, then I will have a great appreciation and or respect for those men. But any time a man who has position over a body of people, such as a nation, and that man's steps are not ordered by God, the Creator, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, whatever you choose to call him, I have a problem with that man because we are so quick to forget the greatest man that has ever lived is the man that was following the Creator. Now, there are people who talk about the Prophet Muhammad. They talk about Jesus or Yeshua as being the savior of humanity and or mankind. And there's been very, very many prophets. And there have been more recent years and or decades in recent years some other great men who have been motivated to help raise the consciousness of man towards a heavenly way of thinking, if you will, for lack of a better expression at this time, but to raise the consciousness of humanity as it relates to brotherhood, and that you are no better than I am, and vice versa. But we have those factions that believe that white supremacy is the going thing, and that everybody beneath those that are white supremacists, that means poor whites, middle class whites, poor blacks, middle class blacks, or so-called middle class on both sides, Latinos, and so forth. Anytime that you think a group of people is beneath you and you are in a leadership position or even in an obscure position where people don't generally see you, and you're behind the cloak of darkness or you're behind closed doors and you're operating from a stealth position, controlling the world, don't have any respect for that. Because if you are honest, if you have any real value to give to humanity, it would be transparent. It would be obvious. You wouldn't be talking about potential wars and about military actions against other smaller countries. Iran, Iraq, Libya, Pakistan, and so forth. You wouldn't be talking about that. Let's not forget North Korea. We don't talk about war when we follow God's plan, His law. Now, not to hold your patience too long, but let me drive it on home from here. You see, true leadership is governed by the ultimate leader, and that is the Creator. That is why the judicial system, the government, always separates the church and the state. They don't want to be caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They don't want you to tell them about righteousness. They don't want you to tell them about that which is wholesome and prudent. They don't want to hear that because they have their established agendas, and it does not include God at all. And when it doesn't include God, it doesn't include those people who are the beggarly, those people who are the poor, the downtrodden, the outcast, those people who are homeless, those people who are in impoverished situations and or nations. It doesn't include them at all. All it has anything to do with is amassing riches and more riches and more riches and power and more power and more power at the expense and at the demise of all of the aforementioned. You see, that's what government is all about today. No one cares about the poor people, the small people, the public. All they care about is how the public can help them achieve their own personal goals and agendas, as I stated. So, when it comes back to someone being my president, what are you the president of? Donald Trump? What was George W. Bush the president of? What was Barack Obama the president of? They were the presidents, and as Trump is the president of the corporation called the United States, a for-profit business. That is what the United States is. It is not a country, ladies and gentlemen. The country that we live in, it happens to be in North America. So we actually are in America, not the United States. Don't get it twisted. Do your research, do your study, and you'll find it to be true. The United States is in the District of Columbia, and that's not the 50 states. Understand this. Overstand this. So, again, I tell you, this might be a little puzzling to some. It might make some people scratch their heads because this is too much information in this little snippet of a video. Some just don't want to hear it because it's the truth, or maybe possibly it's the truth in your mind, and you don't want to face it as being an actual reality. But it is the truth. And many of you know it is. So, again, before I leave, Donald Trump is not my president because he doesn't represent God. He represents something else. And that's it. And that's all. What do you think? Brother Teacher out.